Oh boy, do I have a crazy game for you guys. Watch this. This will be worth every second of your time. So the computer here giving us help. Every star is the best move possible. So this is a standard Dutch defense for black, but white is playing some kind of reverse hedgehog queen side fianchetto bishop. I don't know what he's playing. I'm like, hey, you ain't stopping me. I'm going to continue with my business. So, you know, basic stuff. Get your pieces out there. Then we start the fireworks. I see this guy's potentially trying to play some e4, which I was not interested in any of that. So I have 2 pawns, a knight, and a bishop stopping e4 if that's what he so wants to play. Good luck with that. So, and because of this formation, that requires the bishop to go to d3 and the queen's knight to go to d7 to counteract him jumping into e5. Just, you know, something to throw in there. So I want to do that first before I castle. He's not threatening to do anything. He's playing a very passive opening system that's super solid, but not it's not well, aggressive is not it's not aggressive, but ambitious. It's not ambitious. He's just playing kind of a defensive, I'm hoping not to screw up kind of system, which is fine. But when you know that's what he's doing, then you have to take every opportunity that presents itself for you to take the initiative. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So he's gotten everything developed, solid position, you know. He's mirroring my knights, and he went for the double bishop, you know, fianchetto, as where I went for a two bishops training the guns on the king side. So real solid, but queen to e7 is what it preferred. And normally in the Dutch defense, your queen goes f7, g6, or h5. That's why I went to e8, because that is a standard scenario. But, you know, queen e7 obviously does you know, put some pressure. Maybe I'm playing bishop to b4, bishop to a3. Yeah, you know, whatever. I know what works historically in the Dutch. So, queen to e8. I couldn't have stopped that move anyway, so I'm not worried about that. But that's really not what my concern is. My concern coming up is going to be e5. So, yeah, I probably should have done it one move sooner like the computer recommends. It was the best move on that position. c4, whatever, dude. That doesn't do anything to me. I don't see how that move is really relevant as far as a... Yeah, it's a good move, obviously, but I don't see how it's really doing anything spectacular. Black playing e5 will be much better. So now, again, he's trying to play e4. So if he wants to play c takes, I'm going to play c takes and play rook to c8. You know, his queen is not the piece that needs to be on c2. His rook on a needed to be on c1 first. And possibly rook c2 and then queen e2 and then rook f to c1. That's what I think he should have done. But, you know, whatever. Rook to, that's not the square for that rook, because that dude ain't going to get active. Not behind that. As Nimzovich mentioned in his book, the mysterious rook move is really only helpful if you're going to open that file, or that file has prospects of being opened, and it does not. Now e5. Black's getting ambitious. White's not ambitious, but black sure as heck is. Ooh, you took my pawn, so what? You know, black has a better pawn center with the 3 pawns, you know, F, E, and D5 compared to white's E and D3. So no matter what's going to happen, that E file's not opening for him. If necessary, I'll play E4 and block it, or if he pushes forward with D4, I'll play to E4. If he pushes E4, I'll take him. F takes E4, and then D4 to close it off. That rook has wasted a move. I guarantee you that rook wasted a move there. That's fine with me. Hey, there it is, E4. Gee, I think I'll play F takes E4 and then D4. Shazam! The computer doesn't care for it. But I'm not worried about that. This is a game in 3 minutes. And that actually is a great move. Rook to C8 is better because I wasn't realizing that I was threatening to play bishop to A6. So objectively speaking, yes, rook C8 is better. Queen moves to some who cares square, although he could go queen to D3. So that does matter. But, I'm playing super solid. Positional advantage with the D4 protected pass pawn. So it's one of those things that, is it objectively as good as the computer's move? No, but I'm not a computer. Although if he went queen D3, I would have knight C5 and then bishop A6. The computer is completely correct. Rook C8 is by far a superior move. But in the context of a speed chess game, D4 is super solid. So, you know, it's a win-win scenario. But the computer move is better. Now, hammer time. The computer started showing this. As you can see, it's been showing that black has had a substantial advantage positionally. So now, I don't think so, buddy. My dark square bishop is an inferior bishop. So if he wants to wriggle out some fancy way to play knight captures bishop, queen captures knight, so be it. I'm still going to own the C file. I'm not worried about it. His kingside bishop is completely blocked off of the action. Now mine is not exactly what you'd call a super winner, but he has prospects over here at A3 and even C5. Well, whatever. So there's the move that he wasted on rook to E1, now coming to rook to C1, which would have been better. Well, you know, whatever. Hey. He didn't have anything better to do. He was just playing a waiting move when he played rook on A to E1. Because he wasn't formulating any kind of a plan. So, rook to C8's been begging to be played for, what, about 5 moves? So, queen to D3. Not the greatest move in town. In fact, I missed a move that the computer showed, and it was an awesome move. So, if you want to pause the video, see if you can find the move that the computer found. And we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So, did you find the move? Dun, dun, dun. Crunch, because I sure didn't see it myself. That's a cruncher. I'm like, I can't take his pawn. He takes my bishop, takes bishop. And I can't take the bishop with my queen, but I can, because I would take his queen after he took mine. Doo-doo-doo. So I homered myself with that move. Bishop takes A3, outstanding move. I did not play that move. I played something different. Actually pretty good. It's not a bad move. It's just not as good as bishop takes A3. But it's still a good move. It's really inconveniencing his queen. I'm threatening to play knight captures B3. Also threatening to play either knight captures E4. He is in all kinds of trouble. I mean, he was trying to play a passive and uncomplicated game. Well, guess what, buddy? That's exactly what didn't happen. Queen D1 would have been better to defend the B pawn. But, you know, he's just walking into it left and right. So, you know, I would assuming that you'd probably see this move. I'm not going to ask you to pause the video, but you can if you like. This move is so obvious that just about everybody should see it. Queen, you know, knight takes e4, discovered attack against the queen. So I don't even remember where he went. What, queen to d1 is where I would have gone. Queen to h5. You know, this is the problem with queen to h5. It's not a bad move. The computer says it's good, but this is counter to his style of play. So it is a quote bad move for him, because he was clearly playing a passive, uncomplicated game, middle game type of opening. So now he's jumped in for complications, you know, and well, that's okay. So have I, but I've been working on this the whole game. I've already snagged one pawn. I'm going to try and see him snag some more stuff. So I thought about this for a little while. Knight f6, you know, that's a safe move, but I missed the computer's move of knight to f2. Crunch. So let's go look at that move. Watch the bar. See what happens after knight takes f2. It stays way low. So that's a shot that wins another pawn. You know, now I'm threatening to play, you know, either knight to... If he plays rook takes knight, rook takes knight. I mean, rook takes knight, rook takes rook, king takes rook, knight to d3 check, and I get his snag his rook. So we end up, you know, snagging both rooks for 2 knights, and he's going to have what, 4 pawns. So he's going to have basically 2 knights against a rook and 2 pawns as a differential, plus my better position, plus initiative. So yeah, it's bad news for this dude. But in a game in 3 minutes, I did not see knight takes f2. In a regular tournament game, I've played moves like this before, so the odds are more than 50% that I see knight takes f2 and then calculate it out to being advantageous, because I've played moves like this that were actually better than that. But that's no guarantee, but historically I have seen those moves. Hey, every once in a while you miss stuff. I missed knight takes f2 here, no question. So I went back, knight f6. I go, well, yeah, let's not get stupid. And he's playing cheap shot. You can never move the f6 knight. Hey, buddy, I don't need to move it. Well, I mean, I can move it later, but not if he's wanting to play knight takes bishop, so that he's got my whatever, you know, it's a tactic that he's trying to set up. Like, good luck with that. I mean, hey, it's better than nothing. You know, it's one of those things that it's not a really great move that he's played, but objectively it does create winning chances. So in a speed chess game, an inferior move like queen to h4 has a lot of positives, because it creates some winning chances that would not occur in a regular game where someone had time. Hammer, knight takes b3. Now your knight is under attack. So he took my bishop as I anticipated. You know, and I saw the best move here. So perhaps you should pause the video, see if you can find the best move, and we'll be right back. Boom, we're back. Okay. So, what did you think that black should play here? You have a lot of moves like knight to d2 is possible. Rook takes rook, knight takes rook, bishop captures rook. You have a whole bunch of stuff. Queen takes knight is another move you could play. There's all kinds of stuff. Well, I played a good move, but I did not play the best move. I saw it, but I didn't spend time calculating it, because it was a game in 3 minutes and I'm already winning, and I didn't think it was necessary. Well, I mean, I am winning, but you know, it's a positional advantage that I have with those 2 center pawns. more so than a material advantage. So I felt that I'm winning, which the computer is, as you see in the upper left-hand corner, the bar is mostly black. So the computer confirms that my spidey senses say I'm winning, and I was winning. I did not play the best move. The best move is rook captures rook. I played what I would say is probably the second best move because I saw something that was good for me, and that's knight captures rook. Now, do you see why this move, even though it's not the best move, do you see why it works? So, you know, I'm going to go back and show you rook captures rook. This is a cruncher because he doesn't have the in-between move that I have. The in-between, rook captures rook is the best move because it creates an in-between move. The knight is hanging, and it only has one square, f5, that it can go to safely. The problem is, if he goes here, what is the move that black plays? Now, hopefully you guys see this without having to pause this, but if you have to pause it, that's fine. But it's the in-between move, rook captures rook check. This is just absolute mega crunch. Doesn't matter how he takes it. I couldn't care less. Knight captures. The knight's doing nothing. Well, the bishop does even less. So let's just go bishop here for, you know, he's threatening something. Whatever. So that one, he's at least threatening something. So probably the simplest move would be to guard the bishop. So what's the situation? He's got 4 minor pieces. We've got 3 and a rook. So we've won an exchange. That's pretty good. You know, this is what the computer says is the best move. I mean, this is pretty solid. The weakness of this one is that I saw a different in-between move. He takes my rook, capturing my queen. Great move, of course. But hopefully you guys see the move that black plays. What does black play? Rook takes knight. Bishop takes rook. Move the knight because it's in trouble. So, if you need to pause the video, please do so, because we'll be right back again. Boom, we're back. All right, here's what I played. Does this match what you played? Bingo. This is the move that I saw when I went into this desperado. This check gets the knight out of harm, and I'm going to eat that knight. Now, everybody knows rook captures knight. I could technically have played bishop takes. Rook is good too. I mean, they're both good. Now, let's see what we have. Now, yeah, we're only 2 pawns up. The other one, we were at exchange ahead, but he had too much activity. So one of those things that the computer did like to prefer the exchange ahead, which is good, but I'm pretty happy here with the superior activity. So I think this position's a lot easier for black to play than it is for white, because his b2 bishop has got no future. His rook on f1 is a target. His queen is operating some kind of cheesy, threat of some checkmate garbage or whatever it is, So I was satisfied here that black is winning, and the computer confirms that. Now, like I said, this is my spidey senses, which comes from my extensive tournament experience. I've literally played 600, 700, tournament games. So, you develop a feeling over time. So he plays it. Now, this is another interesting and terrific move. The computer doesn't like it, but the computer has flawless calculations. There's a problem with this move, but the main thing is knight takes bishop, the queen is dead. Okay? So again, this is a really dangerous move. It threatens all kinds of winning possibilities for white. So in a speed chess game, bishop to e4 is just as good a move as queen to h4. These are both very, very dangerous moves. So here's what I did. Crunch. Knight captures g3, demolishing his king side. He takes, bishop takes. Now again, you see that my bar is just devastating. I don't have this bar during the game. You know, he's down to 2 attacking pieces. The b2 bishop does not count. All right? But he's got that queen and bishop trained on my king. But my knight, and I say this many times, the knight and the castle king formation at f6 or, you know, c6, c3, or f3, this is a #1 defender of your king. And you're seeing that this one knight is holding off queen and bishop by himself. He plays a super, you know, tactical move. I'll be honest with you, I did not see this combo. It's pretty terrific. You know, it was like, oh my goodness, I am in bad freaking shape. I cannot defend my bishop at all. But turns out that I really don't have to. So I was like, what am I going to do with this guy? I can't play knight takes. You know, the problem is he's going to move his bishop with check, and there's not much I can do about it. You know, like I said, you know, he'll go bishop to d3 check and eat my bishop with his bishop. I mean, that bishop was dead to his knight. I didn't really care about that. But that's a devastating move. Until I found another move that I could play. Now, you will need to pause the video for this one. Trust me. This is not something that the average, you know, player is going to find. So, this one, you could spend... I wouldn't spend more than 5 minutes myself, but if you want to spend more, you know, it's up to you. But I would say, you know, I like to limit it to 5 minutes in general when I'm studying a game or whatever. I don't want to make a career of it. It's like give it a shot. You know, if you give it a legitimate attempt and you don't quite get it, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you'll learn almost as much by watching the solution sometimes. Sometimes you'll learn exactly what you need by seeing the solution, whether you figure it out on yourself on your own or not. It doesn't really matter. All right, so pause the video if you need to, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. All right, did you play this move? If you did, high five yourself, dude, because you're good. Boom. Yes. I found the best move in a game in 3 minutes, and this is a goofball. This is a goofball move. This is, I mean, it's just unbelievable. It was the only move I could think of. It was like, that's the only thing that stops. It was the only attack I could put on his queen. Well, I guess I could have played bishop. I mean, knight. Could have gone to d5. That would have worked also. It would have been inferior, but it would have worked. I guess. I don't know. Let's look and see what the computer says. Is this move any decent at all? Yeah, that's a good move. That bar really didn't change. The problem is that, once again, his queen is under attack. So the check doesn't do anything. I mean, bishop to d3 check, queen takes, pawn to... Oh, he can't even go bishop d3 check. Yeah, he's getting reamed. So I did not see knight d5 in the game because I saw g5 first. And g5 is just an awesome move. If you see g5, you're like, dude, you are dead. I got him. He took it, which is the worst move you could play. And you'll see why. Or actually, will you? Now, you know, I didn't know this move was terrible. My original plan was I'll just play king takes bishop. Haha. Okay. But then I saw something else. I go, well, so I had to look at it and see what could I do. I mean, knight d5 once again is another possibility. So pause the video and take a look at this crazy move. Okay, we're back. Did you play this move? King takes bishop is a tremendous move, and it does win. Okay? A lot of moves win, actually. But this is the best move. Crunch. Wah, wah. Another one that this one and G5 were two moves I had not been planning. But in the game, they just came to me. I don't know, my spidey senses were on. That's all I can say. This was a move I could not play earlier because he would have played bishop. I'll show you. I didn't think about this at the time when I played G5. Queen B7 check fails here because bishop E4 is check. Which is why knight D5 works. Because his queen must be attacked. If you cannot attack his queen, then black loses. But I found the best move, G5. Now he should play queen to here, which is fine. We just go here. The key thing is he has to play this move. Because if he doesn't play this move, then queen B7 wins. So he has to play this to stop queen to B7. The problem he has there is that he's just a rook down. And that's the end of it. He's just a rook down. That's what all of this, hoop-de-doo has done, is that we've generated a rook down. And that B2 bishop is still a giant pawn. That guy never amounted to a hill of beans. So, every one of black's pieces eventually did something good. That B2 bishop did nothing. So, this game was a wild, and I mean wild game. And normally, you just don't see this quality of play from both sides in 3-minute games. So, like I said, here, rook takes rook, whatever was the computer's better move. But the way I played it, I still had everything under control. And having it under control with a smaller advantage, I thought was much more palatable and easier to handle than I don't have all day, and I'm not a computer. So that's why I went the way I went. I went the inferior desperado, but that still was winning. But he got hammered. Realistically, queen to D3 was not a good move. And again, the computer did not care for D4. Let's look at the computer's move. The computer says rook C8. Now, he can't play this because he gets this move followed by this move. So, he'd go something, well, yeah, I don't see how that would work for him. It doesn't matter what he does. This is the hammer that's coming. This was the advantage. Oh, sorry, double question mark? Well, then that move isn't that great. Double question mark. What does he play? Where does he play? Knight takes this, maybe? Hell, I don't know. Nope, that's not the move. What in the heck? Oh, it says E takes D5. Well, what does that do? Does something. I mean, his position is basically just about even. Or actually, it's a hair better than even. What a piece of junk. My way was better. See, don't listen to the computer. All right, I'll tell you why. I play knight C5, terrific move. Wait a second. That's not. No. Right. He played queen D3. I played D4. That was the move I played. Well, I'm sorry. No. Go back. It was rook C8 is what I played. I don't like rook C8. See, my spidey senses were correct. Rook c8 is not the right move for me, for a human. It's a computer's move. Terrific move. But we need to lock this down to a degree. Although it said you could play knight takes d4. That just seems ridiculous. That was what the computer said. The computer said this was the best move. Which I thought to be, you know, bizarre to say the least. Is that the best move? Double question mark. Then what? Oh, what is the best move here? E5? Nasty. That is a nasty move. All right, let's just do this. No. Let's go back here and look at this move. Knight rips there. Rook to c8. That's the best move. And then we're going to hit that guy. Well, again, queen d3 fails to knight to there. Let's go here. What does the computer say? It says that's the best move. So, e5. It doesn't like that move? Wow, you gotta be kidding me. What in the heck did it like? Oh, it liked bishop to a6. That makes sense. But this is super complicated. Well, you know, this could have happened. You can play knight to e2. Or knight to c4, either one. Wow, really? Who would play this move? You would just chop this so fast to make your head spin. I don't know. Keeps everything good. Rook takes. All right, he likes the rook takes. Well, okay, computer with the rook take. So what is this? This is dead even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's got a pawn for the exchange. That doesn't seem too good for him. That's just me. I don't know, man. This knight move is pretty good. Is it any good? Computer says decent, but b5 is... Man, this is too complicated. Like I said, this guy wasn't interested in playing complicated stuff from the opening. So I played d4. And he did play a bad move of knight to h2. But hey, game in 3 minutes, man. I say it before, I say it again. Anything can happen. I took the chance to play my kind of move, which was d4. And the computer, super tactician that it is, 2500 plus, you know, says it wasn't the greatest move. It's a good move, I guess, but, you know, not as good as the other one. But, so anyway, I thought this was a terrific game. You know, the lesson here is to go with what you see and what you feel is the, you know, is your style of move. The guy beats you by playing terrific moves. Hey, you learned something. But you're better off playing your style of chess, whatever that is. I mean, this was a positional game that I was trying to play with. This guy wanted to play a positional game, and so did I. He wasn't playing tactical stuff until he started running around the board like a maniac with his queen. You know, so what that to me says that, you know, I properly evaluated the type of player he was, and I was able to take advantage of that in this game. You don't always do that. But I thought it was a really good game because he presented all kinds of tactical traps that I sidestepped after that knight takes d4, which the computer saw, but none of the people did. So hopefully you enjoyed this awesome game. You guys know what to do. I'll talk to you later.